Hey guys, I am Dani and welcome back to Summer Skye Gardens. So I'm here at the flower farm and we're having a few rainy days, but I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to show you guys my massive vegetable seed haul that I just got from Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. So before I actually got really into growing flowers, I was growing tons of vegetables and fruit for my family in my backyard. And I will say my veggie garden has been sorely neglected the last couple of years as I've been getting the farm up and running, but I'm bound and determined to get it cleaned up and planted new for the fall, winter, and next spring and summer, all with food for my family. So I'm going to show you guys what all I ordered from Baker Creek. I found that last year there were a few things that I tried to grow, and I usually start all my own seeds and it goes fine. But I had a lot of issues with germination, things not growing well. And I just figured maybe a lot of my seeds are kind of old and, I need to just kind of start over. So that's what I did. I threw out my old seeds and I ordered a whole bunch of new ones. So I'm going to take you through what all I ordered, when I'm going to plant it, what I'm planning to do with it. And then I'll just talk about if there's a few things I'm going to be growing that aren't in this package. So hopefully maybe this will help give you some inspiration or some ideas or info on what you can grow in your veggie garden, especially when you can grow it here in the Houston area, or if you live in a warm climate like me. As always, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you feel so inclined, comment if you have any questions, and let's open the package. All right. Woo! Got a massive haul here. So many seeds. All right, so first question you're probably asking is, why did I order all my seeds from Baker Creek? And there's several different reasons, and I will preface this with saying that I've gotten vegetable seeds from a lot of different places. Baker Creek, I really love just because of the company itself. It's family run, it's owned by a family here in the United States. And they have a lot of different varieties that you're not going to find at other seed companies, that you're not going to find locally. So it's a really fun way to grow different kinds of vegetables or different varieties, especially stuff that you're not going to find in the grocery stores ever. I mean, I can go to the grocery store and get, some really basic zucchini, but I can't grow like a, funky looking, different flavored zucchini unless I grow it myself. So that's one of the main reasons why I like Baker Creek. I also think that they have good prices. They have a good amount of seeds for the price. You don't need a ton if you're just growing a home vegetable garden. And they also do free shipping, which is always a win. So in total, I ordered 47 types of seeds, which I know sounds crazy, but I like to grow a lot of stuff and a lot of different stuff. And I do have a pretty good sized garden. I did get 5 free seeds. That's another fun thing that Baker Creek does, is if you buy a certain amount, you get a pack of free seeds, and it's just like who knows what it'll be. So it's always kind of fun to look in your package and see what you got for free. I spent about $159 for all of this, which I feel like is a pretty good deal for everything that I got. All right, so what I'm going to do is take you through several different varieties of several different, groups of my seeds. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is what I'm going to plant in the fall that will kind of grow through the fall and over winter. So these are all the cool season types of vegetables that prefer the cold. Some may be frost or freeze hardy. Some maybe not quite so much. So I might need to cover them if we get a freeze, but a lot of them they love the cold weather and they don't do good when it starts to get hot. So of course, the first thing that I have to grow are carrots, because I love carrots. They're my favorite vegetable. My kids actually eat them. My whole family just loves them. And I wanted to grow some different types. So the first one that I'm doing is this Corral, which is kind of like a more standard fat orange carrot. And then I also wanted to try a purple. So this is Lila Lusang. And then I'm going to grow a purple dragon, which is like a red variety. Most of the flavors shouldn't be that different, but I just thought it would be really fun, especially for my kids when they go pull them out, to try some different colors. And of course, they have a ton more varieties on their website. Now, my cool season veggies here where I live in South Texas, I'm Zone 9B. I'll probably be starting these inside by the end of the month, so by the end of September, beginning of October, and then I'll plant them outside end of October and into November. You don't want to start too early and it's too hot for them to grow well, but some of these actually need a longer amount of time than maybe a more like temperate or colder climate. Like I have found for carrots, it may say 90 days. They actually might take more like, instead of 3 months, they may take longer, like 4 or 5 months to really be ready because we have more mild winters. So I need to get them started on the earlier side so that they have plenty of time to grow. All right, the next vegetable that I like to grow is broccoli because once again, that is a vegetable that my kids will actually eat. So I got the Calabrese green sprouting, which is more of like a standard variety. And then I got some rapini, which is like the longer feathery broccoli. So I haven't grown the rapini before. I've grown standard broccoli, so I'm interested to see how that does. But broccoli usually does really well, and it's fun to go cut it. The next one that I'm going to grow is, of course, just some real basic cauliflower because that's always a good addition. Next, I got some Brussels sprouts. I grew some standard Brussels sprouts last year. So this year I wanted to try, they have a red rubine, which is like a reddish purpley Brussels sprout. So I thought that would be pretty fun to try. Next, I got some soybeans or edamame beans. I love edamame and I've never grown it. So I figured maybe I'll just try it out. And this is a variety called Midori Giant. Next, I got some beets because I really like to eat beets, and I figure if I can make them colorful and flavorful, maybe my kids will be open to try them. So I got like the standard golden beets and these Detroit dark red. Random side note, if you eat red beets, it may turn your urine or your poop red. So don't think that you're pooping blood. I totally freaked my husband out one time, even though he's a doctor. He totally forgot we ate beets and he was pooping red poop and he thought he had a GI bleed. And I was like, honey, you remember we ate beets. Don't worry about it. So just a little FYI. All right, the last group that I will plant for the fall and winter is kind of all my lettuces and greens. So I got 4 different types of lettuces. So this first one is the Yedikul. I'm not how you saying that or how you say that. It's from Turkey. So I'm assuming it's used in like a lot of Mediterranean food, but it's more of like a baby lettuce. So figured try that out. I got some butter gem and I got a it's called Flashy Butter Gem. It kind of has a speckled color. I love butter gem lettuce because it's a little sweet. I got like the standard butter crunch and then the Merlot, which is always fun to have a darker color. And then one of my free seeds was Tom Thumb, which is like your really basic heads of lettuce. I've grown this before, so that'll be good for all the lettuce. I also ordered just some basic spinach and I got an extra free gift seed of the same spinach. I ordered the 5-color silver beet Swiss chard. These are really pretty when they grow and they're really yummy. So I thought this would be fun. I ordered some bok choy. I like to saute this and use it as a side. And then I also got choy sum as a free seed. This is a brassica. So I guess I thought this was a green, but it's saying it's a brassica, so it's in the broccoli family. So, oops, but hey, it's a free seed, so I'll try some of those as well. So one quick note about growing vegetables. A general recommendation I like to make to people, if you are starting seeds indoors, no matter how you're doing it, the best things that you can start inside are the bigger vegetables. So like your broccoli, your cauliflower, your Brussels sprouts, things like that. Or you could do lettuces, like anything that gets big or that grows above ground, you can start inside and then transplant. However, anything that grows under the ground, you really need to direct sow. So carrots for sure, beets, radishes, potatoes, like that kind of stuff, you need to direct plant out in your bed. They are not going to transfer well because the vegetable part that you are eating is the root. So if you go to transplant it, you're disturbing the root. You're probably going to disturb the vegetable. So just direct seed those. You can start the others indoors. I will say personally, I also direct seed all of my greens just because they're so easy to grow. So the only thing that I'm going to be starting ahead of time indoors is my cauliflower, my broccoli, and my Brussels sprouts. All right, the next grouping of seeds that I'm going to talk about is things that like warm or hot weather. So you want to make sure that you're planting this stuff after your last frost. They don't like it cold, they don't like frost, and definitely not a freeze. Now, some stuff likes a little bit more warmer temperatures, so they're considered like spring vegetables. And then some stuff does better in the heat and does fine over the summer. So I'm going to kind of talk through what are the ones that like more the warmer temperatures and what are the ones that you can grow through the summer. So the first thing that you can grow that really likes warmer weather are peppers, and Baker Creek has so many type of peppers. They have tons of sweet varieties, tons of spicy varieties. So I got some just basic banana peppers, and then I wanted to try this orange spice jalapeno. I have tried to grow bell peppers before and they didn't do like super great. I've grown lunchbox peppers, and I just found that we didn't eat as much of them as I thought we would. So I'm going to grow the banana because I like to grow, have those for salads. And then of course, jalapenos, we use that in Texas. And I thought this orange spice one looked pretty cool. Next are green beans. Green beans love warm weather. They can take a little bit more hot weather, but not for super long. So these are definitely a spring vegetable. My favorite variety to grow for just your basic standard green bean is Blue Lake Bush. And then I also got this fun variety called Autumn Zebra Pole. And I thought that these would be pretty cool to try out. And of course, probably everyone's favorite vegetable to grow, one of my favorites to grow, are tomatoes. And there are so many varieties, especially on Baker Creek site. They have so many varieties. It's super fun. All kinds of colors, sizes, designs, even taste and purpose of the tomato. So I did get a handful of different varieties to grow. Some of these I've grown before and some I have not. But contrary to what the average person may think, tomatoes actually don't like it really hot. They like warm, kind of temperate climate. So here in South Texas, the best time to grow them is in the spring or the fall. Come summer, they're going to really start to kind of fry up. So it's definitely good to get these going earlier. So I got a variety, and I will say too, with my tomatoes, I tend to grow smaller varieties just because they do better with our heat and our kind of rapidly growing like hot temperatures, you know, from the spring into the summer versus the larger varieties. They don't grow quite as good in our heat. So I thought this one was cool. I haven't grown it before. It's called Queen of the Night, and it's kind of like a purpley, golden red tie-dyed color. I have some larger green tomatoes. I love making fried green tomatoes. This is Grandma Oliver's green tomato. Cherokee purple, which are always fun, kind of like a big beefsteak tomato. Orange accordion. I've not grown these before, but they look super fun. Sunrise Bumblebee is a really pretty cherry tomato. I've grown it before. It's delicious, and it's kind of like this orangey yellow striping. And then I got Blush Tiger, which is similar, and Probably my favorite is Brad's Atomic Grape. I grew this a couple of years ago and the colors were so fun and the taste was great. So I had to grow them again, of course, but these are all the varieties. I will say store-bought tomatoes are good. There's nothing like going out and eating fresh tomatoes, warm off the vine. You just can't beat the taste of growing them in your own backyard. So that's kind of the stuff that prefers more warmer temperatures. And all of these I will start by seed indoors. So the peppers, beans, and tomatoes, they do really good starting inside by seed and then transplanting. Now moving on to stuff that you can start in the spring, but will continue into the summer. I'm definitely going to grow some Boston pickling cucumbers to make pickles. I love pickling stuff. My family is not huge cucumber eaters, but everyone likes pickles. So we're going to grow some of these. And then I'm going to grow an eggplant. And this is Listada de Jandia, I guess. Is this from, oh, it's from Spain. So it's like a striped eggplant. And I thought that would be really fun to grow. Have some different squashes. This is Caserta, which is kind of like a cross between a zucchini and a yellow squash, but that looked really yummy. Basic golden, squash right here, and then a butternut squash. Next up, we have melons. My husband is not a big fan of melons, but my kids are, and I actually have not grown any melons before. Believe it or not, I just felt like I didn't have enough space. So this year I'm going to try growing Sweet Passion melon and then Jenny Lind. They both look like they have a good coloring and really good flavor profile. And then I also got some Genovese basil. This was one of my free seeds, so I'll probably grow some of this at home. I do have a ton of basil growing at the flower farm as well. All right, and the last little grouping here is kind of stuff that really likes the heat, doesn't really have an issue. One of my favorites, okra. So I got Clemson Spineless is probably like your classic okra that you can grow at home. And I've grown it before and it's very delicious. And then I also got this Bowling Red just because I thought it would be fun to do a different colored okra. But okra love the heat, definitely can handle our long, hot Texas summers. It's probably one of the only vegetables that you will still see growing very well come August. And then I have some corn. I have had mixed success with corn. I grew a variety a couple years ago called Little Jim, which was more of like a decorative corn, and that actually did pretty good. So this year I decided to try Painted Mountain, and not necessarily to eat it, although you can, but more to harvest it and dry it to use for like decorations. And then I got a free variety of corn called Stoll's Evergreen, and it looks like kind of just basically a kind of a basic like sweet corn that you can grow. All right, and the last group of plants I'll talk about are all my pumpkins. And I really got these for the farm. I tried growing some pumpkins this year. The best thing is to direct sow them. I wasn't able to do that, so we started them indoors. I transplanted them. They didn't do that great, and that's okay. You live and you learn. I have a few that are still going, but a lot of them did end up dying. So next year I'm going to prepare a space for them that we can direct seed them into. So with the pumpkins, I got a lot of different varieties that are like colorful, funky looking, not your typical, orange little pumpkins, just because if people are going to come out to the farm and they want to buy pumpkins, I want to have kind of different stuff to offer them. So the first variety I got is called Sweet Dumpling. It's like this striped kind of cream and green variety. I got the Musqué de Provence. This is a huge pumpkin. They kind of look like huge wheels of cheese. They can get up to 20 pounds. So if we can get these to grow, I think they'll be really popular. I got the Musqué de Maroc, and this is kind of like a green warty pumpkin. Thought those are pretty fun. The Girandole is like your Cinderella blue pumpkin. I got the Chinese miniature white, so little small white pumpkins, as well as the Jack Be Littles. And I've actually grown these before and they did really well. These are like little baby pumpkins. The Marina di Chiagia. Is that from, yeah, it's from Italy. I'm not the best with names, but I thought this one looked super fun. It is like this big warty green pumpkin. I think people really like varieties like this. I got the Long Island cheese, which is a really larger, kind of flatter variety. And then the Skye, which is like a striped variety. All right, y'all, that is all of the seeds that I ordered, everything that I'm going to be growing. The only other things that I grow at home for us to eat is I have a lime tree, a key lime tree. I have a Natchez blackberry plant, which is wonderful. It's gotten huge. I like it because it's thornless. It grows good in our heat, and the berries, sometimes they're sweet. I would say most of the time they're slightly sour, but I think they're still delicious and they get really big. And then I always grow strawberry plants, and my favorite two varieties for the South are June bearing, and it is Chandler and Sweet Charlie. I've grown both. I really haven't found a difference in them. So I think it's just a matter of like which one you can get your hands on. Those are grown by plugs, and you need to order them early, and you plant them in the fall, you overwinter them, and then they will start producing fruit in about March to like early May for us. June bearing, I don't know why they call them that anymore. Probably when they used to have a little bit cooler summers, but for us, they start blooming and producing fruit early. And then after that, they're kind of done. They will send out runners. I've had mixed results harvesting the runners and making new plants, letting the runners take over. I usually end up just pulling them and tossing them in the compost because I want to use that space to grow other stuff. But you can certainly let them keep growing if you want to try them out. I usually just buy new plugs every year. But yeah, Chandler or Sweet Charlie, homegrown strawberries are so good, so fun. I can't even hardly bring any inside because my girls love going out there and picking them and just eating them straight off the plant. It's super fun. So highly advise growing your own strawberries. But there's a lot of other fruit you can grow. Of course, there's always herbs. I'm not a huge herb grower, but you know, those can be wonderful additions to your edible garden. If you have questions on how to grow stuff, if you go to my website, and I will link it below, I created what I call gardening guides. And they're mainly built for people to grow vegetables or edibles at home. So I have one that's about square foot gardening. So it kind of tells you how much space everything needs. I have one on crop rotation. So how to rotate what you're growing in the same space every year. I have two that are fertilization guides, one for vegetables and one for fruits and nuts. So it's very simple on how to, fertilize. Do you need to fertilize? And if so, with what? I have one that is on companion planting. So what stuff does good growing together and what stuff is going to clash if you grow it right next to each other. Okay, so I thought I had more than that, but that's all of the guides. There's 5 of them total. They're $7 a piece. It comes emailed to you as a download. I know for myself, I printed it out and laminated it so that I can bring it outside if I need to, or just reference it, season to season, and it doesn't get dirty. If you want to buy all 5 guides, then you get $5 off and it's $30. So I hope you'll check that out. I will link my shop below. And yeah, happy growing, happy gardening. I can't wait to hear about what you guys want to grow in your veggie gardens. So let me know if you have questions on vegetable gardening or anything that I mentioned here. Leave me a comment and I will see you guys in my next video.